Distribution of inheritance is an important aspect in the life of Muslim because it enables the management of wealth after a person's death. Before implementing the distribution of property, several matters need to be reserved under decisions such as zakat that has not been paid, mortgage that has not been redeemed, debt of the deceased, and then the inheritance include various types of assets including land, house, cash, investment, gold, and other valuable items. This process not only involves the distribution of physical and financial assets, but it also aims to maintain justice as well as preserve family relationship within the community. According to Islam, the distribution of inheritance is known as fara'id. Fara'id is a system based on the Quran, the Hadith of the Prophet SAW, and the ijtihad of scholars. The type of inheritance in Islam involving property include land, house, and building. Involving property, for example, artwork, stock, and jewelry. Personal belonging, items like house, mobile phone, and sentimental gift. Marital property, asset including bicycle, marriage, property.
Hi, my name is Nadira. My number matric A24A3406. I will be presenting about Fara'id. Fara'id is a system of inheritance distribution in Islam which is determined based on the Quran, Sunnah, and ijma' of scholars. The law of Fara'id determines how a person's property is divided among each of his heirs, including children, wife, husband, mother, father, and other family members. A Fara'id issue in Malaysia that often occurs is unclaimed inheritance. Many cases in Malaysia which is about the issue of involvement inheritance that is not claimed by the heirs because most of them do not know how to claim it and there is a lack of communication between families. Some of them do not understand the concept of Fara'id, including who is eligible and how the share is determined. Apart from that, the issue of divorce, wife, dead or alive, especially for husband or the deceased who have been married to more than one person. Example situation, Mr. Ali died suddenly without leaving a will. He had two wives, Mrs. Aina and Mrs. Ida, as well as children from both marriage. Although Mrs. Aina knew that her husband had remarried, she did not know the whereabouts of the second wife and had no close acquaintance to try to contact her. This created challenge in the process of distributing the estate. This affected the process of distributing the deceased estate, making it difficult to manage and delayed. Thank you.
Next, definition of hibah. According to Islamic law, hibah is the giving a property by a person to another party while he is still alive and it is done voluntarily, unconditionally, and with the aim of getting closer to Allah. An issue that is often raised in hibah management is when the gift of property during life is not required legally or is unclear and not understood by family members, until becoming a major issue that can cause confusion between hibah and fara'id after the death of the donor. When hibah is done verbally without a legal document, such as hibah letter, other family members maybe question the validity of the gift. They tend to consider the property as part of the inheritance that needs to be divided according to Fara'id law. Example situation, Pak Ahmad gave his house to his eldest son, Ikhwan, verbally without any official documents such as a hibah letter and without informing his two other children. However, after he died, two other children, Yasmin and Lily, demand that the house be divided according to Fara'id law because there was no valid proof of the gift. Confusion arose because hibah without document was difficult to prove, causing the house to be considered an inheritance that need to be divided among all heirs according to Fara'id. This situation will lead to dispute between heirs, especially if the property given is of high value. This confusion also arises due to lack of knowledge about the difference between hibah and Fara'id, as well as the absence of family discussion before the gift of property.
The fourth issue is the issue of debt and liabilities of the deceased. In Islam, debt is a financial obligation that must be repaid, whether it involves money or goods. It is considered a priority, especially in managing the estate of the deceased. According to the Quran, debt must be settled before dividing the inheritance or executing a will. This point is emphasized in Surah Al-Baqarah and Surah An-Nisa, where the importance of repaying debt is highlighted. They are here are responsible for ensuring that the deceased debt are settled first in line with Islamic teaching. Proper debt management is important to avoid disputes and ensure a fair distribution of inheritance, fulfilling the obligation set by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and protect the right of all parties involved. The fifth issue is the issue of adopted children, right in the division of inheritance. In Islam, adopted children do not have the right to inherit from their adoptive parent under Faraid law because there is no blood recognized by Sharia. However, adopted children still can receive property through other means, such as a hibah or a will, as long as it is done fairly and does not harm the right of other heirs. Adoptive parents are encouraged to consider their adopted children right in property distribution, ensuring that justice is maintained in accordance with Islamic principles.
My name is Fakia Sofia binti Muhammad Azam. My matrix number is A24B2964. So I'll be presenting for arguments and Mufti's point of view. For arguments is Surah An-Nisa. For men is a share of the inheritance of their parents and relative, and for women is a share of the inheritance of their parents and relative, whether little or much, according to a fixed share. So for the Mufti's point of view, based on the Faraid law found in the Quran and Hadith, the partition of inheritance in Islam is a very clear topic that must be adhered to. Scholars and muftis explain the significance of enforcing this division equitably and in compliance with religious law, as well as giving family unity top priority when setting any potential conflicts.
My name is Wanur Nakibah A24A3425. Now, I will explain about the positive effects of property division by religious aspects, nation aspects, and also country aspects. The first one is religious. Obedience to the command of Allah. The divisions of inheritance according to Islamic law is strongly ordered in Islam. Dividing property according to Faraid law can prevent fights and injustice and can strengthen family relationships. Second, strengthen faith and obedience to God. Faraid law is a decree that comes from Allah and mentioned in Surah An-Nisa verses 11 to 12 and 176. By following this Faraid law, it proves that a person is someone who prioritizes Allah's commands and believes that Allah's commands are more important than emotions, lusts, or custom. Next, nation. Help avoid division in the community. People who live in harmony can work together to develop the nation in the country to be more advanced. The division of this inheritance can show good value to other nations because the property is divided fairly and there is no fighting. Therefore, these things will cause Muslims to be looked up to and dignified. Second, avoid social conflicts. When the division of property is made according to Faraid law, many disputes regarding inheritance can be avoided. It is because Faraid law is Allah's command and not be disputes. Indirectly, this Faraid law can reduce the burden on the court regarding the issue of dividing inheritance. Last, country. Ensuring social stability. Equity that is divided fairly can create a peaceful and harmonious atmosphere in the country. Therefore, good property management and guarantee the well-being of the people and can maintain the country's political and economic stability. Next, stabilize the economy. It can also stabilize the economy because it reduces the economy gap. By dividing the wealth to the heirs, Faraid reducing the risk of extreme wealth difference in the family and society.
Today, I will present about the negative effect of property division. From a religious point, first, degrade the image of religion. Islam promotes fairness in all matters, including inheritance. Disputes over inheritance that ignore Islamic law and involve negative practice like charm can harm the religion image. Number 2, dishonest listing of heir. Applicant has been excluding other rightful heir like a second wife and her children during inheritance claim in Sharia. Next, from nation point are non-Malay heir. Inheritance is exclusive to Malay, but intermarried Muslim may inherit, unlike Malay reserve land, which exclude non-Malay convert. Number 2, gender tension. Faraid divides inheritance based on gender role. In modern time, women who contribute financially may feel the division is unfair, especially when they have greater needs or responsibilities than men. Finally, the impact in terms of the country are conflict of law. Conflict arises when inheritance involve Islamic and civil law, especially across countries with different legal systems such as Faraid versus secular law. Number 2, affect the country economy. The process of dividing inheritance property that takes too long will result in inheritance property, such as inheritance lands being abandoned even though it has a high potential to be developed, especially in the agriculture sector. This situation will reduce the yield and income of the country in the agriculture sector.
Solution to issue hibah. Several initiative steps can be taken to ensure that the gift of property during life and the distribution of inheritance after death are carried out in an orderly and legal manner to avoid conflicts between heirs. In order to address the issue of hibah that is not clearly recorded and the confusion between hibah and faraid, the initial step is to draft a legal hibah letter that is meticulously documented by the property's owner. This hibah letter must include comprehensive information regarding the recipients, the conditions of the hibah and the property to be transferred, as per the Hanbali school of thought. Additionally, this letter must be witnessed by a legal party such as a lawyer and signed by both the giver and the recipients of the hibah. Furthermore, it is imperative to notify all family members prior to the completion of this hibah transaction. This is to prevent the heirs from experiencing dissatisfaction and confusion. The next one is solution to issue faraid. An awareness approach, proactive action and assistance from the authorities are necessary to address the issue of unclaimed inheritance in the faraid case, which is a result of rift in family relationships and a lack of knowledge. In order to address the issue of unclaimed inheritance that is a result of a lack of knowledge, the authorities must offer guidance through the media, as the use of media has become a cultural phenomenon in the present day. The significance of faraid and the process of claiming inheritance can be promoted through channels such as television and social media, such as the TikTok platform. This initiative will provide the public, particularly young people, with an understanding of faraid laws, inheritance distribution, and other related topics.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Mailani Aisa, matrix number A24A3173. Today I will be presenting about the solution of the issue of adopted children's right in the division of inheritance. Okay, first of all the married couple wanted a children in their life. However, some of them couldn't, so they choose to have adopted children to be a part of the family. After the parents die, the property of them will be given in faraid to all the children they have. However, the adopted children couldn't receive it because they have no any blood related to them. So, before the parents die, they could make a hibah or a will for the adopted children. The hibah is considered as a gift to the adopted children, and the parents can give anything that they want to the adopted children, such as a money or a property like a house. The biological children couldn't take the gift from the adopted children because it's considered as a gift to them, and it will not be a part of in fara'id. However, if the parents wanted to give a hibah to the adopted children, it will be restricted to 1/3 of the net of the property. The hibah that given will help the adopted children to survive in their life after the parents die. Next, I will talk about the solution to the issue of debt and the abilities of the deceased. After the parents die, the property will be divided into fara'id. However, the property must free from any debt. So if the parents have a debt, the higher must pay the debt first. So the parents need to tell the children if they made a debt before they die. If the deceased is not paying the debt of the person that own it, they can claim the debt under the Small Estate Division Act 1955. They need to apply the form and explain the type of the debt and the amount of the debt. For example, the deceased are not paying the money loans or rent payment. The creditors can claim it under the law. So the property that given to the higher must free from debt, so it will not have a problem in the future.
In conclusion, the distribution of inheritance in Islam is a very important process and requires deep attention to be implemented fairly and by Islamic law. It aims to ensure that the rights of each heir are respected. The fara'id system also play an important role in the distribution of inheritance to ensure that the rights of each heir are respected. A deep understanding must also be applied in society to avoid disputes between heirs. Hopefully, in the future, Muslims will continue to appreciate and attach importance to estate planning as their responsibility in this world and the hereafter.